I have been informed that my announcement has been deemed disrespectful.
Listen up, Dwayne, you bald fraud!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest of all time!
Seth Rollins, I'm coming for you, boy. And I'm coming hard.
I am a visionary! I am a revolutionary!
The never seen 17!
Look at you now, boy! Ah. Look at you now! 4 letters, 1 word.
Last real champion, John Cena!
What is up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Wrestling with Ryan and Mike. Mike's rocking his brand new Danhausen shirt.
Little Danhausen.
And if you aren't watching, you aren't supporting, then you are cursed.
Kind of looks like Ryan a little bit. The hair, the eyes, the bags, teeth. Look at that. Oh, yeah, it looks like a little. Yeah, it looks like I'm wearing Ryan on my shirt. But anyways, that's not Ryan. That's Danhausen.
Yeah.
And this is Rasslin with Ryan and Mike.
Yep.
Hope you guys are doing well on a Tuesday morning.
It's been a second since we recorded, but we're back now. We both had some time. Been a little over a week.
A little over a week, not that long.
Yeah, not too long.
We're pretty consistent with it still.
Yeah, we're back, but we're back now. We got a lot to talk about.
Well, lots going on in the world of wrestling, and you know it's not all of it's good, but not all of it's bad either.
Yeah, and I feel like that's how most of wrestling is nowadays. You have the pros and you have the cons. It's a mix of both.
Right, right.
So, yeah. I think where should we start off with recapping? We can recap Monday Night Raw.
Well, let's start. Well, it's with SmackDown on Friday because that happened before.
Yeah. So SmackDown on Friday was live from St. Louis. Randy Orton kicked off the show. We were told the mystery caller would be revealed, and then Cody came out. They talked, and Cody started beating up Randy, and then the mystery caller was revealed, and it was Pat McAfee.
Or as CM Punk likes to call him, Pat Mcafee.
Yeah, and like, okay, I will say this. I don't hate it because it was completely unexpected, because I did not think it was him. That's why I say I don't completely hate it, because it caught me off guard, because that's not who I was expecting. So when I look at it in that perspective, it's like, I don't hate it because it was somebody completely unexpected, but at the same time, it's like, you went through all this just for it to be him. Like,
right.
You could have had it be literally anyone. You could have had it. What would have been really interesting is you could have had it be Ted DiBiase, because he was just acquitted and found innocent.
That was never going to happen.
So
that was never going to happen.
I know, but I'm saying, like, that's something that could have happened. And who knows? Maybe it could still happen. Maybe we see something.
No, it's not going to happen. They're not going to bring back Ted DiBiase Jr. Get real. He's not a star. Nobody would know. The newer audience would have no idea who that is, and then the people that do know who he is would be like, "This is fucking terrible. Why the fuck is Ted DiBiase Jr. on that? That's worse than Pat McAfee."
Yeah, you want The Rock back? Who is
the hell? The Rock is The Rock. Don't get us started on your delusion over here, okay? You live in that little John Cena bubble.
Look. Don't
make me put a pipe bomb on you, okay?
Look. One thing I was just trying to say is, because you have, the history of the legacy. That's all I'm trying to say, is like, it'd be cool if they,
Okay, I would give you this. If it was like a one-off thing where we never saw where Ted DiBiase Jr. didn't come back every single week. But if it was like a one-off thing, then maybe I would accept it. But not like the mystery caller and he's going to be paired up. No, nobody wants that.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were thinking, oh, it could be Ric Flair, it could be Cowboy Bob Orton. It's like, no, those dudes are 70-plus, old, washed up. We don't need them.
Yeah, my thing is, we didn't need any celebrity involvement. We didn't need any mystery caller. I mean, Jesus Christ, how many mystery men have we seen in the last year? I'm surprised Triple H didn't put him in the Black Hood. My God, that would have been the 50th man in the black hood in the last 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Except this time he was like, "Oh, I'm going to change it up. We're going to have a mystery caller." We didn't need any of that. We didn't need any mystery men. The story was already written for Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. These two guys were a part of Legacy. You know, they were a stable from 2008, 2009, 2010, and you build off of that history together. You build off the history of Cody coming back into the company and Randy mentoring him, and Randy being the old guard and Cody being the new guard. You could have built off of this. Could have been the story in which we wanted to see last year with John Cena and Cody Rhodes.
And apparently this was a TKO decision. This had nothing to do with Triple H.
Well, apparently, as we get into the story, Nick Khan, or not Nick Khan, what's his name?
Ari Emanuel.
Ari Emanuel, right? The president of TKO is Pat McAfee's agent. And Pat McAfee's agent, Ari Emanuel, wanted to shoehorn him into more movies, into more TV shows, into more public TV appearances. And where's the best place they can do that? On WWE programming to get him more exposed.
And especially because his show is on ESPN.
Right. And so they're shoehorning him into this program, which has nothing to do with Pat McAfee. No disrespect to Pat McAfee. I love Pat McAfee. But this has nothing to do with him, and it does not need him. The story was already written for Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton to have their program at WrestleMania. I mean, don't get me started on how many celebrities we're already seeing at WrestleMania. Jelly Roll. I mean, Jesus Christ, how many times has he appeared on TV over the last few weeks? IShow Speed. He's already in a program now on Monday Night Raw. They're trying to get Tom Brady, the GOAT. Logan Paul's a wrestler.
No, he's a celebrity.
He's not a celebrity. I mean, he's a celebrity, but he's known as a wrestler now. He's more known as a wrestler than he is a YouTuber. Now, 2 years ago was different. Now he's more known as a wrestler, and a boxer. But we don't need Pat McAfee to come back and to insert himself into this program because it does not need him. It doesn't need him at all. It doesn't even make sense for Pat McAfee to turn heel. What sense does it have? And then the fact that Pat McAfee is saying, "Oh, we need to go back to the Attitude Era. We need to go back to the Attitude Era. We need to go back to guys that look like wrestlers that aren't 5'5". Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, this is the same programming that you were announcing that you were so passionate about. Now it doesn't make sense for you to turn to be a heel in this sense and say we need to go back to the Attitude Era. Because guess what? We're not going back to the Attitude Era. Wrestling is what it is now. Okay? Right? Stone Cold is not coming back out of retirement. The Rock is not coming back out of retirement as much as everybody would love to see it.
Good. Keep him retired.
Including Ryan. I know you would love to see The Rock come out of retirement too.
Keep him off screen, please. But anyways, yeah. No, I get your point. The story does tell itself with Randy and Cody, but it's also one of those things. It's like, how do you guys not trust them to tell a story? It's like those are two of the biggest stars today. Like, how do you not just let them tell their story? Why do you got to involve all these other celebrities when there's no need for them to be in it?
It doesn't. Yeah, we don't need to see.
I would be okay if maybe if you had one as a special ref or something. I'd be okay, with something like that.
I wouldn't even want that because that means you're still involved in the program. I would be okay if it was a one-off thing on television before leading up to WrestleMania, but they don't need to be directly involved in the program. Now you're going to see probably Jelly Roll in Cody Rhodes' corner, right? I mean, that's probably the way it's going to go because Jelly Roll got...
Apparently, the rumors are saying at Backlash it's going to be Cody and Jelly Roll versus Randy and Pat McAfee.
I mean, the biggest eye roll in that. Why do we need that? Why do we need the constant celebrity...
because it's going to feed families, Mike. It's going to feed generations.
No, it's not. Nobody's buying tickets.
No, I'm kidding.
The few people that could afford...
I'm kidding.
The few people that could afford to buy tickets aren't buying tickets to see Jelly Roll. They're not buying tickets to see Pat McAfee.
I mean, they ain't buying tickets to see Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, because they're too damn expensive, and we can get into that later. Okay? But... we don't need any of that. And so it was so stupid for Pat McAfee to say, "Oh, we need to go back into the Attitude Era." Dude, when the programming that you're on is the least bit. I mean, you can't even compare this to the Attitude Era. Okay? Like, you can't even compare it at all. So why even bring that up? Why even bring it up? If you're going to be involved in something, make it good. And this is not good. If I would rather Pat McAfee have a program with somebody else at WrestleMania or just be on commentary than him being involved in the main event of night one. But that's just my humble opinion.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. It'll just be it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And then it'll be yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays out. I don't really think I have much else to say
I would
on
rather
it.
see Pat McAfee versus Danhausen. Well, I mean, I know that sounds silly, but I'd rather see a match like that.
Maybe Danhausen will curse Pat McAfee.
You never know. You never know.
I know you'd love that.
Look at that. Look at Ryan right here.
I know you'd
That's
love that.
blurring it out. But look at Ryan.
What if I hope Danhausen curses Roman.
Oh my God, could you imagine? I mean, Danhausen is friends with CM Punk, so
Yeah, I
he's
hope he curses Roman.
But anyways, we go from that. I mean, it's just the WrestleMania card is already it's not that it's a lackluster card because I feel like this has a really good opportunity for it to be a good WrestleMania. But
It's
I
just
just
the
think
lack of story.
the lack of stories, the lack of and these matches kind of just are
The
they
best,
feel like they're just kind of just mixed together. They're
yeah,
just meshed together without there being a rhyme or a reason.
the best built match is Oba Femi Brock Lesnar. That has been the best built match.
Right.
And if they hadn't announced the cards this morning, that easily should have been the main event of night one.
Right. Yeah, it should have. I think they definitely had a case for that match to main event
Yeah.
night one. I mean,
Even though
look at the
people would be
building in
like,
that.
"Oh, but it's non-title," I'll be like, "Yeah."
It
So
doesn't matter.
the night
The
one
night,
main event last year was non-title.
yeah. I mean, you have a star like Brock Lesnar. I mean, you look at what they're doing with Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. They're utilizing Brock Lesnar being a star from the past and having it rub off on a guy that's the future. That's exactly what you need for these older guys.
You gotta build stars, and
You got to build the young
that's
stars.
something they've struggled with for years. Years they've struggled with building new stars.
And
But how they're doing it with Obafemi, this is how you do it. This is like the perfect way to do it.
they're
Because
finally utilizing Brock Lesnar right.
yeah, because Brock was always seemed as oh this unstoppable beast, nobody can get the upper hand, and now it's like Obafemi has the upper hand, and it's like really for the first time ever in his career, Brock Lesnar's an underdog.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. And what a statement would it be for Obafemi to main event his first WrestleMania like that against Brock Lesnar?
And to go over.
Yeah. But it's not the case. That's not the case. So I mean, we'll still see if Brock Lesnar will, put over Obafemi at WrestleMania, if Oba will win. That's the jury's not out on that yet. I mean, but we'll see.
And then let I want to transition into it's still relating to WrestleMania and also semi related to Brock Lesnar. Is we had Seth Rollins come out addressing Gunther, and then afterwards, I mean they fought, they brawled and whatever. But then when we got backstage, Paul Heyman asked Gunther why he did it. They shook hands, and then Gunther told Paul Heyman that he owes him a favor. And you know what I think that favor is?
Of course, it's Brock
To
Lesnar and
retire
Gunther. Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see that when that match happens. They said it without saying it. Presumably, everyone thinks that match is going to be at SummerSlam. Presumably, but we'll see when they want to capitalize on that match.
I want to see Gunther versus you. I want to see you tap out like a little
Oh my gosh.
bee.
He kind of going back to Oba and Brock. If they do a match with Brock and Gunther, then it would almost make sense for Brock Lesnar to beat Oba. But if Brock Lesnar beats Oba, it has to be in a way where Oba still looks strong.
Yeah, I don't think it should be a clean defeat.
Right.
If he were to lose, I don't think it should be cleanly.
hmm In
Which
a way where,
I feel like that's the only way that would protect Oba even in a loss.
hmm and that would definitely, I mean, you have to be able to protect this guy because this guy, Obafemi, is going to be champion really, really soon.
And he's super over with the crowd.
hmm
Super over.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could see.
In my opinion, he has the best entrance in WWE right now.
I mean, I could see them putting the title, the world title, on Obafemi for SummerSlam, or maybe at
I
SummerSlam.
could. I could. Yeah, I do see it because if they do King of the Ring, I could see Oba being King of the Ring
hmm
to get the
And
title
then,
match. Because
dude,
now we
you
know
do,
Queen of the Ring get the world title matches. So
and then you do Punk versus Oba. I mean, if that's a guaranteed Obafemi win if they do Punk versus Oba at SummerSlam.
oh yeah, and Punk would love to put him over.
Exactly.
Yeah,
hmm
you know Punk will be like, will probably be the first guy to be like, yeah, go ahead, put him over. Punk would
hmm
probably be the first one to say it.
Exactly. Exactly.
At least the new CM Punk. The old CM Punk, I don't know.
Well, I don't know about
But this
that.
current CM Punk, yeah. But I could definitely see Oba being world champion sooner rather than later. I know they positioned Braun Breaker to be like the next big thing, but I think Oba right now is the bigger star. Oba's the bigger
No.
star.
Yeah.
He hasn't been hurt. He's in a program with Brock Lesnar,
hmm
which is with his first major feud. It's like you can't ask for a better, bigger feud than Brock Lesnar.
Right. And then, I know we're kind of just fantasy booking into the future here, but man, you have a Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble, challenging Obafemi at WrestleMania next year.
Ooh,
It's a great
that would be an amazing match.
yeah, it would.
That would be a great match. I think did they have matches in that? I think they wrestled a couple times in NXT, I think.
Did they?
I think.
No, maybe. I'm not sure.
Um but yeah, no, that would be
Right.
great. And so hopefully Oba goes over. I think he should. But also it depends on the go home show because we usually whoever stands tall on the go home show loses.
hmm
So it'll be interesting because it's like you said, Oba's been getting the upper hand like pretty much in all the encounters, and you're like, oh well, Brock's got to get his one, and who
Right.
knows, maybe next week Brock gets his one.
Who knows? Who knows?
Because I would say last night was a draw because neither got
Yeah.
the upper
Did
hand.
you see the footage after?
Yeah,
Did you see the way Brock Lesnar threw those steps into the ring and it hit one of the security geeks?
yeah.
Holy shit.
Like he threw them like they were like dumbbells.
Dude, if the people at home are listening to this and they haven't seen it yet, go on YouTube. Look at the off-air footage of Brock
Yeah,
Lesnar.
because I'm pretty sure it was posted
Yeah, it
by
was. I just
WWE.
saw it
So,
right now before we
yeah,
started
no,
recording. But Brock
it's
Lesnar throw these
insane, dude.
steps. He
He just
throw these
like
steps and it fucking hits somebody. It's one of the security guards right in the in the face. It is crazy. Just
yeah.
shows you the strength of that guy.
Yeah, I still remember when Brock picked up a referee with like two fingers.
Oh my God. Well, I still remember when Brock Lesnar threw the car door. It almost hit fans in the
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
when he was feuding with Seth.
So, but yeah, so that in my opinion, that has been the best built feud
Oh,
on
absolutely.
the road to WrestleMania. It's been great, and you notice how they haven't. Neither man has talked, and they don't need to.
Oh, and they don't need to talk.
They don't need to talk, and they literally them getting physical in these segments is perfect for both of them.
hmm
They don't
Yeah.
need to talk. It's like Punk and Roman. It's like it got to a point where it's like, man, you guys are just saying the same stuff. And then when they started getting physical, it's like, okay, see, that's what the feud needed. They needed the physical brawl. It's like
hmm
with Brock and Oba, it's perfect.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see coming out of WrestleMania what they do with Obafemi, win or lose. Do they continue to
And also what'll be next for Brock Lesnar?
Right. If Oba loses again to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, which is definitely possible, then he needs to come out of that program looking strong. And
Yeah,
then in the next program, he needs to be the annihilator. He needs to win convincingly, whoever he's programmed with, in order to get him to that King of the Ring spot. If
yeah,
they're even doing King of the Ring, nobody knows.
yeah.
Um, Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar they have the best program. What do you think has been the worst program heading into WrestleMania?
Probably Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, just because it's like it's been the same thing. They're not, both of them are not that great on the. I mean, Rhea's improved on the mic, but Rhea still isn't all that great on the mic.
Yeah.
They're kind of just rehashing the same thing. So I feel like Jade and Rhea has been like the worst build. At
Yeah.
least the women's tag team title has been like somewhat intriguing, but it's like even then their build hasn't been that great. It's just all these teams fighting each other because they want the tag titles, which it makes sense. So it's like it's not the worst build.
Yeah.
And then Liv and Stephanie has really picked up lately. I feel like it was started off slow, but it's really picked up these last couple weeks, which I like.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is
so
surprising though. No Julia on the WrestleMania card,
no Tiffany Stratton on the WrestleMania card.
which makes me think they could have a program together for the United States Championship.
They could, unless it's one of those things like where they book it last minute, but
Yeah. Which again, if they were even to do anything like that, it just feels everything is just kind of thrown to the wall last minute and it has no story build. It's not great. Not great to build a WrestleMania because I know you knock AEW down for not building their story, but look at what WWE has done.
they
Where's the story?
a lot of these stories have just been like they just throw it out there.
Right.
Be like, well, but Brock doesn't have a story. Yes, it did. Brock issued an open challenge. Femi answered it.
But that's not a good story per se. I mean, look at yeah, it's a great matchup everybody wants to see, but it's not a great story.
Yeah, but it works for
It
them.
works for them. It does.
It works
But you
for
can't
them.
do that with
I'm not saying it's gonna work for everybody. I'm just saying for
yeah,
them it works.
exactly. And we can get into AEW later, but a lot of people criticize Tony Khan for not building stories, but he's doing a way better job at building stories right now than Triple H is. You got to
Yeah,
give it to him,
yeah.
especially with MJF and Kenny Omega.
Even though his world champion's delusional and says the AEW World Championship is the most prestigious championship in all of wrestling.
I still get comments on that on my TikTok from when I posted that. You should see if you're interested to see the lunacy, go onto our TikTok and go
That's
and find that video.
that's the IWC for you.
Exactly.
What the
Exactly.
marks.
Yeah. Um yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad that Julia does not have a championship match, a United States title match to defend at WrestleMania. Tiffany Stratton as well.
Io
Like,
Sky right now doesn't have a WrestleMania match.
what the fuck? It's Io Sky. She's the best female wrestler in the world right now, and she doesn't have a WrestleMania match. That's insane to think about. We're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. Like, how do they not have a match? Yet they're gonna shoehorn Rusev into this ladder match that they're having with like five other guys.
And it's like, what did he? Well, now, yeah, because we just found out Rey Mysterio is now in the ladder match. So
Right.
it's really weird because we were supposed to get Gunther versus Rey Mysterio, but then Rey got hurt, and now Rey's back, and he's not even facing Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand too because they're probably like, oh, it's funny because they don't want to do Braun Breaker Seth right now because they want to build the story. It's just like, but then you have all these other matches that don't really have a story.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really make any sense because they said they want to build the story with Braun Breaker and Seth,
Right.
which is why they're not doing it right now. But it's like, okay, I mean, you like half of your WrestleMania card have had like zero build or like zero story. So
Well, with Braun Breaker, they don't want to rush him back anytime soon because of the hernia injury.
yeah, and because a hernia is serious. I did some research on it. It is a hernia is a pretty serious injury. So
I mean,
I
it's serious
understand
enough. I
why.
mean, I've
Yeah.
had hernia surgery. And I had it in 2019.
Yeah, so
It's one of those things.
so I understand why they're taking precautions. I totally
Yeah,
understand.
it's probably and from my experience, it was one of those things that like I felt good 2 weeks after, but your body is still healing. With Braun Breaker, I'm pretty sure he's feeling great right now, and he probably thinks I can go out there and wrestle.
But
Put it
then probably if he goes out there and wrestles, then he's going to be in a ton of pain out of nowhere.
or just risk the chance of further rupturing it and it being even worse. So,
And it's
you know,
all because he flipped the table.
yeah, right. Yeah, right.
He
I
flipped the
think he did.
table, and that's where he got the hernia.
Was
So
that
they
where
say.
it was from?
That's what they say. It's because he flipped the table, and that's when
I
he
don't
got the
know.
hernia.
I don't know. I don't know. I think my best bet that it was done when he was training, but
Yeah, I would
or
say
wrestling.
probably training or wrestling. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
maybe the table flip just really like aggravated it.
Exactly.
Okay,
hmm
I feel like he probably had it, but then flipping the table is probably what like made it noticeable.
hmm hmm
So,
Exactly. Yeah. Other than that, in the WWE, I mean, obviously we had CM Punk's pipe bomb last night.
and what a pipe bomb it was! It caught everybody off guard because Seth was supposed to kick off the show.
Oh, was he?
Even the commentators were like, "Wait, I thought Seth was supposed to kick off the show."
hmm
Or
Yeah.
because Michael Cole was like, "Oh, we'll see Punk later tonight," and then Punk came out and he was like, "Wait a minute, he's coming out now."
hmm Yeah, they
So
probably did like a last minute change or whatever. But CM Punk, man, he was yeah, he had a lot of targets last night in terms of he was talking to. Obviously the majority of it was towards Roman Reigns, but man, did he torched Roman Reigns. That
torch
was bad.
torch Roman, he
I
torched.
mean, nobody will ever fillet Roman Reigns as good as John Cena filleted Roman Reigns, but that was pretty close.
Yeah, and everyone and the reason you can say people was flamed Roman as good as John Cena is because what John Cena said still rings true. What, like almost 9 years, like 8 years later, he says, "I'm still here because you can't do your job." He's hosting WrestleMania. Roman's on the card. Cena's still here.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but yeah, no, Punk really laid it into him. He mentioned your final boss. He mentioned that bald fraud.
Oh my God. My God.
Um,
To quote him,
he says, "I don't need my
is
bloated cousin on the board
yeah, or at least
to
he
get to
goes,
where I
Mike,
am."
at least The Rock is a Hollywood star.
Or
Or my
star
bad, was.
was a Hollywood star, and then yeah, he ripped into TKO, Pat McAfee. Um, yeah, no, I feel like CM Punk was talking as Phil Brooks, not CM Punk.
Yeah. I mean, my God, he mentioned the old man, Vince McMahon, last night.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
That's two
Say
weeks in a row where we've had a reference to Vince McMahon.
I mean, hopefully it's not leading into some kind of weird Vince
I
McMahon
hope
return.
I hope not. I don't want to see that man on television again. But I just find it interesting that they spent so long and not mentioning him at all, and now 2 weeks in a row he's
I mean,
been
they haven't
mentioned.
said his name, but
They
they've
haven't said
referenced.
his name, but he's been mentioned.
Yeah.
Because Punk mentioned him to Drew. He's like, "You're the chosen one. Who chose you? What was his
Yeah.
name? Say it.
Say
What
it.
was his
Yeah.
name?"
Yep. But that was like 2 years ago. But
Yeah,
last
but
week, Cody Rhodes said that to Stephanie McMahon,
be
saying,
like, with all
"You're
due
not your
respect,
father,"
you're not your father.
which
Um,
you were like, "That's a compliment."
I'm like, well, that's not an insult, Cody. That's more of a compliment.
True. True.
But like, so yeah,
Yeah.
Punk spoke facts. You know, he really he really talked about like I think what a lot of us wrestling fans have been saying as of late. He really is the voice of the voiceless.
He talked about Pat McAfee's agent, like what we mentioned before, Ari Emanuel, the head
Yeah,
of TKO.
tell him to lower the ticket prices.
Right, because we've heard over recent weeks, months about corporate synergy and them maximizing profits, right? That's them gouging the audience. WWE has priced out their their fans to a point where people like me and your average fans, your fan base, your families cannot afford to go to these shows.
If the tickets were cheaper, you and I would probably be getting ready to go to Vegas.
I've stayed on principle. I could afford to go to WrestleMania, but I'm choosing not to because it's ridiculous. I mean, look at what we paid last year for WrestleMania. I mean, the tickets were, I mean, what was your cheapest ticket last year?
220, I think.
220 to sit where?
I mean, they weren't the best of seats, but I didn't care because I just wanted to be there.
But were they higher up?
Yes, they were higher up.
Same with mine. I was lucky enough last year where my sister-in-law was able to kind of get me to come down a little bit, but like yeah, my cheapest seat was almost, it wasn't nosebleed, but it was kind of higher up there into like the higher mid-bowl section.
I was behind the stage.
Yeah,
Night
you were
one.
behind the stage.
Night one, I was behind the stage. Or like next to it.
Yeah, night one I got down low enough where the hard cam is, but like on the camera side.
Night two, I did like our night two seats. Those were good seats. Night two, I did like those.
The night two seats were pretty good.
Yeah,
But even then, that was still a little far back. I mean, and we paid what, like how much for those? $600 each.
think so, or
You know,
500, however much it was. Yeah,
if those same ticket prices would probably be $800 to $900 this year.
yeah. Like I said,
You
if
know,
the ticket prices were like last year or more affordable, you and I would probably be
sure,
getting
yeah,
ready to go to Vegas in like a week.
I could swipe the credit card and pay for that now, but like, who in their right mind is going to do that? Like, it's not feasible. It's not fucking feasible. If you have financial common sense.
I like how you say who in your right mind would do that, and I start.
Yeah, I know you would.
Like I would.
I've had to hold you back.
I would. Well, I'm still tempted.
I know you're still tempted.
I
You're in
am
no
still
position to
tempted.
go.
I'm
We're
still
just gonna
tempted
keep it
to
at
do
that.
it. Huh?
You're in no position to go, and we're just gonna keep it at that.
I don't care if it makes me broke. I'll go. But I could technically afford it. Would it be smart financially? No, but I can technically afford it.
But it's not even just about the ticket, right? It's about the hotel stay in Vegas. And when you're in Vegas, you're not gonna fucking live out, or sleep in your car or sleep in some rinky-dink motel. You're gonna want to stay in a good motel. You're gonna want to gamble. You're gonna want to go out. You're gonna want to drink. You're gonna want to eat good food. I know there's people out there that would do it the cheap way, right? But like ideally, you're gonna want to go out there and have fun in Vegas. That's gonna run you. Last year, I think that ran me close to $1,500 last year, $2,000 altogether on everything. Yeah, it was close to 15. I think it was about $1,700 altogether. Right? This year, if you wanted to do that, it would probably be close to $2,000. Ideally, you got to think about the gas driving. We live in California, so
It's a
the
lot
gas
more
prices are
expensive
pretty
now.
high.
Yeah.
Look
That's
at the
another,
gas. Exactly,
that's
gas is
another,
$6 a barrel.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is like last year, gas was like was still reasonably priced,
Hmm.
and then this year it's like it would have cost more just to drive up there.
Exactly.
It would
I'm
cost
pretty
more
sure,
it would cost more to drive there than I'm pretty sure it would be to just like stay there.
and I'm pretty sure flights are all booked. Right? I'm pretty sure there are hotels. You're gonna have to pay for a pricey hotel.
Yeah.
At this
I mean,
point,
I'm sure you can find like a last minute flight, but again, it's like it's not ideal.
or you're gonna have to pay $1,000 for the flight because if you book a flight within the next like 2 weeks for WrestleMania, it's not gonna be cheap. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
It's not
no,
gonna be cheap.
I agree. It's not going to be cheap because they're doing what they can to fill seats. And as soon as they announce my go, I literally text you. I was like, bro, I think I'm gonna do it. I was like, I think I'm gonna do it. And you're
And
like,
that's how desperate
no.
WWE is too. They're trying to get anybody. They're trying to throw things at the wall for people to come and see. John Cena's in retirement, and they got on their knees. They got on their knees. Please, John Cena, please come back.
They
Please.
needed the Never Seen 17 back.
Well, we're gonna see him again.
So it's funny because literally as soon as they announced it, I'm pretty sure I texted you. I was like, Mike, I think I'm gonna buy my ticket so I can go.
Yeah, I know.
And you're just like, you really gonna do that? I'm like, dude, you're talking to the guy who literally flew to Washington D.C. for the guy.
Exactly. Exactly. I know you will, but you know what? You're gonna watch it with me at my house, and you're gonna like it. You're not gonna be there.
Even though I want to be there.
Because you're gonna help. You're gonna run the live stream.
You know I want to be there.
I know you want to be there.
I would knowing me, I probably would have had my tickets already. It's like you said, you're literally like the reason don't have tickets right now because you're kind of like making sure I don't get them.
Exactly. I want to make sure that
even though you know I want to get them,
I'm looking out for you, making sure that you're not broke. Whatever money that you have. Okay, we're not going to get into financials, anybody's financials on this podcast,
Worth
but
it. No,
anyways,
I did spend like over 400 to meet John Cena, but that was worth it.
That's $400.
Hey, for me that was worth it. Even you said it was.
I know it's a great picture.
Yes,
I know, but okay, look at that again too, right? You spent $400 on that picture, right? And it really, truth be told, it really was worth it for you last year. But how much would that have been this year? Because I know they upped their prices.
Yeah, and then he's not even doing me. He's doing his show with he's doing the 6 feet under pod with Undertaker there.
If I wanted to go meet Stone Cold this year, or
it would probably cost you $700.
Yeah, exactly.
What would be great, but they wouldn't do it. 'Cause I think it would just be genius marketing. Is if they actually had Stone Cold be cost a 316, but like I mean 316.
Yeah,
Like that'd be genius marketing.
even then it's still pricey. I spent $80. Did I spend $80? Yeah, I spent $80 to meet Bret the Hitman Hart 4 years ago in Dallas. $80.
Signed your belt. Well, I mean, you gave away that belt, so
No, I didn't give it away. I sold it
you sold it.
for $500, baby.
We were at a random Monday Night Raw at the Honda Center.
Yes, somebody flashed. They're like $500 right now for that belt. I looked at it, looked at the $500, and I was like, fuck it, why not? It's just material, even though it was signed.
Yeah.
It's just material, you know. You can always get that stuff back. You can always get that stuff. I mean, you can't get a signature back per se, but like, I don't know. But the people listening to this now are gonna think I'm an idiot. What is that?
What do you do it?
You can do this right now.
Wrestlemania Saturday.
$230 to sit with Jesus. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna buy a ticket right now. Oh God. You really gonna do that? You're not gonna do it.
I gotta see my goat.
You can see him on television.
Fine.
Don't do it. Don't you do it.
I didn't.
How are you gonna get there?
Bus.
Oh, this guy. You should tell your story about going to SummerSlam? No, Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Oh yeah. I did that. What was it 2020? Was it 2022?
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
Whatever it was, because you were supposed to go with me, but then you had something going on. My dad was supposed to go with me, then he got COVID, and then I was like, well, I don't want my ticket to go to waste, even though one did, but I was like, fine, whatever, I'll take the loss on that. But I was like, I still want to go that way. I at least get my money's worth, at least on my end.
Right.
And so I found it, and my brother told me about it. It's a thing called Flixbus. So I literally took a bus from Montclair to Las Vegas. It dropped me off right in front of MGM, and then I took the bus all the way back to Montclair.
My God. Well, all within the same night.
Yep.
All within the same night.
I didn't even spend the night in Las Vegas.
That is a true fan right there.
That's dedication.
That is dedication. I don't know of anybody that's ever done that except you.
I mean, I'm sure other people have done it, but in terms of people who you know personally.
I mean, just a turnaround like that, taking a Greyhound?
But the price was reasonable. The price was reasonable. It only cost me like $100 round trip on that bus.
True.
So
Yeah.
it was a
Even
pretty
though
good price for the buck.
reasonable, but you had to have me pick you up at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
You offered.
I did offer, but
You
still,
offered. I didn't ask. You offered.
yeah,
But
but still, you had to.
anyway. We get in off topic. Yes, we know I'm a dedicated, loyal fan, and if I could, I would literally buy my tickets right now.
I know you would.
Well,
I
I
know
mean,
you would. Damn it.
technically I could. So there's not actually really is nothing stopping me.
Do it. No, I'm joking. Um, don't do it. Don't do it. Just save your money and watch WrestleMania in peace. Okay, don't worry about the hustle and bustle getting over there when you can just spend it with friends and family. Anyways, yeah, we talked about CM Punk.
I'm gonna sell the rights to lace them up sports media.
But,
Then we
but
go.
you ain't the owner. You don't
Then,
own this.
then I'll go to Vegas. I'll use the money from lace them up sports media.
You don't own this. You ain't me.
I'm just kidding.
You ain't Shane McMahon buying WCW here.
Imagine I just get on the other end. Oh, hey, Mike. By the way, I just bought that. That would be like you have lace them up, but then I bought the podcast.
Oh my god, you'd have to buy the podcast out. You'd have to pay me.
Nah.
Anyways, uh, spoke about WWE. Chris Jericho is now back in AEW. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I think Tony Khan froze his contract
Well, no,
because
he signed a brand new contract.
he did sign a brand new contract.
hmm
Oh, okay.
I think that Chris
I
Jericho.
thought he added time because
I
of
think
how
he. Well,
long
I
he
think
was
both
gone.
is true. I think he did add time, but he signed a new one as well.
Okay.
Uh, I think Jericho didn't really ever have intentions of coming to WWE because if Jericho wanted to be in WWE, he would be in WWE.
He would
That's
be
just the
back
simple
by now.
truth.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has re-upped with AEW shows where his intentions are. Shows where he wanted to be all this time. I just think, the year off did him very well. He played AEW smart by, making it seem like he was going to go to WWE to get a better contract. And good for Chris Jericho.
But yeah, use it as leverage. Just good business on his end.
And he got a pretty good pop when he came back. But at the same time, I mean, Chris Jericho is 55 years old, so
What's he gonna add to AEW? Nothing
he's not
really.
going to be the world champion anymore.
And it's not like even if he did come back to WWE, what is he gonna add to WWE? Nothing.
Right. I mean, WWE.
In a way, it's kind of a win-win for both sides. I know people wanted Chris Jericho back, but I'm also thinking it's like, yeah, but what would he have added to the company?
Not much. Not much. I mean, they would have had him face Gunther, and Gunther would have retired him.
And then, I mean, if he ever does come back, it would be just so he can get the Hall of Fame nod.
Exactly. A retirement tour in Hall of Fame. But Chris Jericho wants to keep wrestling. He wants to keep going at it. And I mean, good for him for continuing to wrestle. And, whatever he does in AEW going forward, I'm sure it's going to be, fulfillment for him enough. But, at the same time, it's not going to be in a main event spot. It's not going to be.
All his main event days, world title days are behind him. I don't think that man's gonna win another world title in his career.
Exactly. Yeah. hmm But and then you have in AEW you have MJF feuding with Kenny Omega now. They're going into Dynasty, I believe, and
So you have the wannabe knockoff Miz.
the wannabe knockoff Miz. No, MJF.
But
You can't say that anymore.
no, I know. I'm referencing the was it the CM Punk
CM Punk,
promo on
yeah,
MJF.
yeah. At a time, maybe he was, but now, no.
No, I'm not MJF. He's his own star. He's a bigger name than the Miz.
Right, exactly.
But
But
yeah,
it's going to be a
yeah.
great matchup. I mean, they're playing like last Wednesday night. They played off of Kenny Omega's diverticulitis and how that has really affected his career. I'm sure whenever they have a match, they're going to play into that. But I'm pretty sure that MJF is going to retain whenever they wrestle. I believe it's going to be at Dynasty. But Kenny Omega, he's not in his prime per se anymore, but he can still give you a pretty good match. And so we'll see what kind of match they come up
Yeah,
with.
he can still deliver when he needs to,
Right. Exactly.
which just goes to show you how great of a wrestler he really is. It's like, hey, even if he's out of the game, he can still give you a good match.
I mean, him and the Young Bucks, man, they're the only
I
ones
mean,
that to
I'm
never
not I'm
come.
not saying they're gonna have a 5-star match, but they're definitely gonna have like a solid match.
But him and the Bucks, they're the pretty much the only great wrestlers to never come to WWE.
I
You
mean,
know,
there's still time at least for the Young Bucks.
there's still time, but I mean, Kenny Omega, he's kind of
Kenny Omega,
hitting.
no, Kenny Omega, I don't see it happening. I don't think it's happening with the Bucks, but I'm saying I was like it's more plausible that the Bucks would eventually sign with WWE than Kenny Omega.
It is, but like also like the Bucks are EVPs. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything considering Cody Rhodes, but no, actually, it doesn't really make any sense either because the Bucks hate CM Punk and look who's on top of WWE right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So I'm realistically that wouldn't happen, but you never know. You never know.
would be cool to see because I mean
Exactly.
The Young Bucks have said they do want to wrestle the Usos.
And then we can get that match between CM Punk versus the Bucks we're supposed to get 3 years ago. But anywho. Well, any last thoughts on the world of wrestling currently so far before we hang them up here?
I mean, I just think it's crazy that we're less than 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and I don't really feel hyped for it. What's crazy is I told you I think what brought me more hype was after John Cena announced he's hosting. Then that
Yeah.
brought me hype. But that's kind of a bad thing where it's like you're not hyped uh, until somebody who says they're hosting the show. Then that's when you get hyped. So it's
Hmm.
like I'm hyped to see John Cena because it'll be interesting. Even though I don't think he's gonna get physical or anything at all.
Yeah.
But it would be cool.
Yeah.
Cost Gunther, John. Cost Gunther.
You never know.
Cost Gunther.
You
Seth
never
needs the
know.
win. Seth needs the win.
You never know.
It would be I would it would be cool to at least see some sort of interaction with them. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I think it would be cool to see some sort of interaction.
Even if they cross paths backstage and Gunther just like laughs hysterically.
But then John Cena could be like, dude, you retired me and AJ Styles and you barely got a spot on the card. I got a spot and I'm retired.
Yeah. Very true right there. Very true. Yeah, we're less than 2 weeks away from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Uh
One thing I will say, I do think WrestleMania this year has the potential to be better than last year. Not to be
yeah,
one
I
of the
think so
better
too.
WrestleMania. I'm not saying to be one of the best WrestleMania. I'm just saying I think it can be better than last year's WrestleMania because last year's WrestleMania was pretty. The build was way better last year, but the matches were like meh. Where this
Yeah.
year the builds are terrible, which gives me hope that maybe the wrestling will make up for the lack of build.
Hmm.
Because I feel like that seemed to be a formula with
Hmm.
WWE. Like when the shows that don't really get a lot of build end up being some of the better shows of the entire year.
Yeah, exactly. One thing
So
I'm looking forward to seeing being revealed is the stage coming up.
watch it just be last year's stage,
I know, right? Exactly.
just with black and white instead.
Yeah. I mean,
It-
look at that was a pretty
yeah,
that was a pretty expensive
yeah.
stage, so if they wanted to
But
redo it.
it'll be interesting to see how and who's going to reveal it.
The one thing I don't want to see is a WrestleMania was it 35 or it was just a screen?
Oh yeah, no, I know it's Vegas. I don't think they're gonna do that in Las Vegas.
Yeah. But they kind of go back and forth between good stages and the kind of mundane stages. Like
The last like 39 when we went to 39, in my opinion, that is the best looking WrestleMania stage ever.
exactly. That was the best
39,
looking.
40 was okay, but that's because it wasn't as big. So 40, I give them, I'll cut them some slack. 40 last year's stage I actually did like last year's stage. Last year's stage was cool.
But then like you had 40 was kind of mundane. It was just like a
39 was
couple
great. 38 was It
38
was
was
just a
good.
giant star. It was just a giant star, but it was cool. Yeah, it was
Well,
cool.
they had WrestleMania and
Yeah, and then it had, and the way the star was, it was, like the Dallas Cowboys. But I mean,
yeah,
the 38 stage wasn't bad.
right.
But yeah, no, you're right. It's like the last few years, it's like they have like the one really good stage and an okay stage, good stage, okay stage. Because we had
So we'll
years
see.
of like terrible stages. Still one
Yeah,
of the best stages of 39 in my opinion is the best stage of all time, but a very, very close second is WrestleMania 33.
33 with the roller
The
coaster,
roller
man. You can't beat
coaster.
that.
Man, that was such a beautiful stage.
Yeah,
Such a beautiful
exactly.
stage. Ooh, that gives me an idea for a future episode.
No, there you go. There we go. All right. Well, you know what? That concludes our podcast today. Next week, we'll giving you our thoughts on we'll give you a complete rundown on the cards, giving you our
Because
predictions.
Yep, because I believe the card should be pretty much finalized at that point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if there's any last minute additions. Um, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course, we'll talk about the go home shows. And then of
Yep.
course, come WrestleMania, we will live stream WrestleMania. Not the whole show, but
Exactly.
parts
Yeah.
of it at least.
Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, I just want I should have said this before we started or before at the beginning of the podcast. Guys, please subscribe, hit like, follow, stalk us on Instagram. It's okay. I'm giving you permission to stalk us on Instagram.
And if you don't, then you are
Our
hurt.
first at Lace 'em Up Sports. You can find us on Instagram, X, YouTube, Spotify, where you're listening to this podcast. Man, we got to up those numbers, guys. Please help us. We're on our way to getting bigger and better numbers. If you're a Dodger fan, look out for something really big happening within the next couple of days. I'm not going to give up too much,
No
but
one cares about the Dodgers.
oh yeah, just the best team in baseball.
No one cares
Yeah, no,
about the
nobody cares.
Dodgers.
You know, the back-to-back defending World Series champion. That's all. That's all. You know, exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's okay, just like you have a poor taste in wrestlers, you have poor taste in sports teams.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, you can't see us.